This is the second official episode of Youth Hockey Hub's Junior Hockey Pod. We still don't have an official name. That might just be the official name. I don't know. But I'm Sydney Wolf and joined again by Drew Steele and also Peter Odney is with us now officially. We had kind of a crazy first episode. Now we have everybody here for the second episode. But Peter, how are you doing? Are you ready to talk some junior hockey tonight?
I hope I'm ready. I'm playing. This is my flu game. I am battling a bit of a flu bug at the moment. So if I cough, don't worry about it. But I will be chirping and chiming in wherever I can because you guys look like you had so much fun during the first episode. I wanted to hang out for a bit.
Yeah, we did. It was a wild time. We had no idea what people were going to think of the first episode, but we've had a couple early reactions. People thought it was funny, so I'm glad you all did.
Oh, good.
That's good. Only improving from here, hopefully. But Drew, how are you doing on this really nice Wednesday evening?
We're doing well. I don't know if it was nice. I think the past week's been the biggest turn. It might just be the rink down here. Like going to work the past couple days, the rinks just felt colder. I don't know if it's just the weather outside,
Oh
but
yeah,
like it just has been like that extra, like, what am I doing working in the cold? But I mean, nowhere I'd rather be. Just maybe an extra
Nowhere
layer
I'd
or two to
rather
help.
be.
nice. Yeah, for sure. It's been I don't know about in Madison, but it's definitely been kind of dreary here the last few days. So it feels more like hockey weather. That's spooky Halloween weather. But we got quite a bit to talk about today. A lot of USHL stuff. Again, the first show was kind of just started the season stuff, and now some time has passed, so we know a little bit more about players and teams and commitments, and we got a bunch of other just random notes and funny stuff as well because we like to keep it light here in Central Scouting, all the hot topics. But first, our sponsors of the show again are the one and only USHL, which we love, obviously, because we talk about them a ton on this show. So we love the USHL. I'm going to be talking a lot about USHL guys and news this week. So obviously, everybody, if you're listening to this, already knows about the USHL, and then also APX, which I can rep my merch on my shirt almost the same as the logo there. But yeah, I got a lot of great news up on APX. If you go apx-hockey.com, got a bunch of great features on there on USHL guys up right now, so you can go check that out, or for all of your training and development and advising needs as well. So those are our sponsors, but we can get into our news for this week. First off, we were just talking about this at the YHH office yesterday, actually, funny enough, but our own Minnesotan Brent Solomon, USHL Forward of the Week, love to see it. And I know there's a bunch of other Minnesotans at the top of the leaderboards as well, so it's kind of crazy to see some of those guys making a big splash here this week.
I'm going to take the lead here because I got a hot opinion about a tweet
Okay.
that YHH put out. The tweet was trust the process, highlighting like Brent Solomon staying all the way through and being a Mr. Hockey finalist. But there's a guy in your notes here, Maverick McKinnon, who has taken the least traditional route to the USHL. And if I were Maverick, I wouldn't go anywhere. Maverick looks like he's fitting right in with Youngstown. He's gotten significant playing time on all special teams. So that's my hottest take of the week is that don't trust the process, trust your process. But super cool to see some names here. Jack Christ, McKinnon, and Cooper Conway. Minnesotans all across the board, man.
Yeah, top of the leaderboards, two Minnesotans now. It's Solomon and Simpson. So like two Mr. Hockey finalists from last year, two draft picks, two players that are just going to be studs throughout the year for their given team. So cool to see them up there for sure. And Solomon with 8 points in 3 games. I think that'll get you some honors in the league for sure. Forward of the week there for him. But yeah, I think 8 points. I don't even know if I put those stats up in mini mites, to be honest with you. So good on him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's up to 15 points in 10 games now, which is awesome. Love to see it. Shout out Champlin Park. But it was kind of funny too. Just like a quick story yesterday, was at the YHH office recording the college hockey show. And after the show, I think it was Ryan Maney was talking to Tony and was like, Tony, guess who's at the top of the USHL scoring? And he was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, just guess. It's a Minnesotan. And he was like, I don't know. It could be a lot of different guys. He's like, oh, it's your favorite guy. He's like, I don't know who that is. And then he said, it's Brent Solomon. And Tony was like, oh, well, that doesn't surprise me because he's really good. But it was funny. We were talking about him just yesterday because I think you guys had him on one of the pods last year for the end of the high school pod or something.
He was on the boys, excuse me, he was on the boys high school pod near the end last year. And then I interviewed him again for the NHL draft preview. So he and I spent, an hour together just talking. Goodness gracious, going over his career to that point and what he was most looking forward to about the draft. And from what I saw in Pittsburgh, he's not just a high quality offensive player. I mean, he's on the PK unit out there, and nobody picks off passes in the neutral zone better than Brent Solomon.
Yeah, and for anyone listening to, he's a Detroit Red Wings draft pick of this past summer, round 4. So Detroit prospect there, but moving on to some other news as well. I just kind of put this in there. I don't know if you guys have any insight or thoughts, but I always kind of love to look at the line charts and see what's kind of up with each team. And I saw Tri-City looks like they're having some guys starting to pile up in the scratches section. Currently, their most recent line chart, they have 4 guys injured and 2 that say ill. So I don't know what's up over there, but they got quite a few guys listed in the scratches that are not healthy. So that's definitely got to be a bit tough dealing with that. And I don't know, I haven't paid super close attention to them quite yet, but kind of crazy to see so many guys listed as out for them these past this week or 2.
Yeah, Carney must be feeling it there for sure. I don't know what's going on out there in Western Nebraska. Uh, that just means a lot of affiliate games because before the season, they actually shrunk the roster size by 1, if I'm not mistaken. So it used to be 25 for the past couple of seasons. Now it's at 24. So that drops your number of healthy scratches on a given night. So probably skating short and probably calling up the affiliate list real quick for them, getting some young guys some minutes for them.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that would
promise
make
I
sense.
wasn't the one that is spreading whatever in Western Nebraska. But Tri-City's not the only team that's faced this. I mean, the NTDP, I think
Yeah,
both NTDP U17s and U18s have had some serious injury problems. I know the U17 team pulled up Teddy Lechner a couple of weeks ago, and I love seeing, I don't want to say random because Teddy's a known quantity, but kids getting kind of plucked from all over the place and popped into the lineup. But Tri-City not alone in having these guys either sick or hurt or what.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that must be affiliate players or guys getting called up because there's a couple that only have a handful of games played compared to everybody else. Or I know Isanti, Minnesota's own Cade Kozak was, I know, called up to Tri-City, I believe, from one of the Null
District
teams.
10.
Yeah, so shout out because it says he only has 1 game played on the last roster line chart. So a couple guys getting called up, but then those guys get some opportunities. So that's always good. But I thought that was kind of noticeable. We talked about Teddy Lechner being called up to the NTDP. Caleb Pitsley did as well. I just put that in there because wanted to shout out. I just wrote up a story on him on APX, but we can talk more about that a little bit when we talk more about some more staying, comings, and goings later on in the show. But we had a couple of first USHL career goals. I know one of them was for the Caps, Drew, first USHL goals this week for Minnesotans like Henry Lechner, Bodie Sampere, and Will Doshin. So love to see that. And I know I posted Will's online, and it was good to see him and those other guys get those first goals there.
Doshin, 2 points in the game. I think that's his 4 points in the last 3 games. I'm gonna know a lot about Madison and Dubuque players this week because we got the Saints this weekend. But yeah, I mean, the Madison offense has been kind of struggling lately. I think it's 2 goals per game over the last 4. See, that's what I'm saying. I just know random facts about the Caps right now. But it's been nice to see him because he's had 4 points in his last 3. I think he got scratched one of the games in Lincoln last weekend. But yeah, I mean, Doshin's been good, and we had another first goal to our tender, Stephen Cover, too. So it's that time of the year where the guys who are rostered but kind of struggled out of the gate finally find entwined. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense actually when you say that sometimes with the offense and stuff. Because when I talked to Caleb Pitsley too, he said like, okay, well, Madison, I'm like, what can people expect from Madison this year? And he told me like, well, the decor is going to be older, more experienced. The forwards, a lot of us are younger, so it might take us a little while getting into the season to kind of get adjusted to things. But he was like, hopefully that is perfect for playoffs. And then by the time we're all playing really good, hopefully it'll peak kind of at the right time. But he totally said that when I talked to him. But first USHL goals for those guys. I believe Sam Pear's in Fargo and Lechner's in Cedar Rapids. So shout out to those guys. One trade that I saw before we get into Central Scouting, that was just a couple hours ago, actually, I saw Minnesotan Dakota Bailey traded from Omaha to Sioux City for a non-Minnesotan, George Lovell. So one trade that I saw earlier. Otherwise, the big topic everybody's talking about this week, you guys, is Central Scouting. The preliminary list, the first one that comes out, and then there's a couple more that come out throughout the next calendar year. There's a lot of USHL guys, obviously. There's always a few NOL guys as well, but decent amount of Minnesotans. Nobody super high, but Peter, I don't know if we want to start with you. Did you have any quick thoughts on the Central Scouting list, or any surprises, or any general, thoughts on it? Because I know that's always such a hot topic when it comes out.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that Tony has texted me over the last 2 weeks was, "Hey, NHL Central Scouting is up," because we always put something together. I called this list kind of bullshit in our text group chat, and I don't mean that as a slight against players. It's just so early in the process. Like, so many of these kids are going to fall off the NHL Central Scouting ranks just based on sheer numbers. Like, 31 Minnesota kids are not going to get drafted into the NHL. That's an absurd number. It'll settle back down to about half of it. But it's cool for the kids to see their work validated at this point of the season. And just like kids will fall out of Central Scouting, kids will jump up in Central Scouting too. Like, some kids don't make an appearance on the list until the last one of the year. I think Blake Vanek went from unranked to being a potential fourth or fifth rounder.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy every year. Just, yeah, like you said, the amount of guys who this first one, sometimes they're rated kind of high and then they fall off. And then other guys who aren't even listed, who sometimes then are taken like in the 7th round with team's last pick. So that's always kind of wild to see. But I don't know, Drew, did you have any insights or any, guys related to the Caps on the list this year?
Yeah, I think we had two Minnesotans on the list, Pruitt and Pitsley. Obviously, I like to shout them out because I interact with them daily at the rink. But yeah, the list is just so tough to like read this early on. It's kind of nice. It's like a talking point almost in a way. Like, you can talk, hey, this team's got 3, this team's got 2, Muskegon's got 17 with their affiliates included or whatever. I don't know what the actual number is, but I feel like they always have a ton of guys in that picture. But like Peter said, it's so tough to tell this early on. So it's kind of just like, what are we doing it for besides just clicks? And if they need clicks, sure. It's almost like a week 1 college football ranking. By week 13 or whatever bowl season comes around, it's going to be completely different. One thing that I always like to kind of touch on with this group is the amount of overagers, not that first year of eligibility. There's only like a handful on this list. By the time the draft comes around in June, there'll be almost a round full of those second or third year eligible guys. I think of a Luke Middlestat, for example, in his last year of eligibility, gets taken in the draft. So obviously their stories aren't done at any point. Charlie Serrato's another name. He actually was 2 years after his first year eligibility, went through a year in Youngstown after the NTDP, went to Penn State for a year, and then gets taken. So your story's not done in October. So if you're not on the list, if you're a player, still a lot of time to make up. If you're a player on that list, show you earn it at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's so early to tell. AP polls out now, I guess.
Yeah,
The AP pool, man, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy just because a lot of these guys have less than 10 games played so far this season. So a lot of them, it's like, okay, well, some of these guys might have had hot starts and maybe some scouts were watching and got some, intel maybe from coaches and stuff, but they might have a hot start and then really struggle the middle of the season and they're not going to get drafted at all. So it's
Yeah,
good.
I saw a list last year before everything came out with a player that was listed as a W, which means 6th or 7th round. And by the time that the draft was, they were a 3rd round pick. And they just had a hot fall classic, so that's why they went from a W to a B from the first like list I saw to the public. So like it's all over the place. I also don't know how many NHL teams are sharing info with NHL Central Scouting at this point of the year too. So that's what it's cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think some of it is based on resume. A
yeah.
lot of this is based on resume and what scouts may have seen last year. And then there were some kids on here that I'm reading. Like, this was the first time I knew who Cam Merrick was. I had no idea who Cam Merrick, who's joining the Minnetonka Skippers this year, had no clue who he was. But he popped up when I did the little command search, hi Min, and there was his name. So it's kind of a grab bag of kids you expect to be in the first, second round turn. Like Mikey Burchild has been pegged as a first or second rounder for feels like 10 years at this point. And Victor Plant is doing a really nice job asserting himself as a second round type guy. Maybe he might weasel his way into the first round, but it's just way too early to make any sort of definitive statement about any of these kids.
So it's fun to get kind of shout outs for some of the guys. I know it's always fun when I talk to guys. I'm like, did you know your name was going to be on there? And they're like, no, I have no idea. So it's kind of fun sometimes when the guys that are listed as the W's or like the lower end. It's always fun talking to them because a lot of them wake up and they're like, I checked my phone, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, you gotta go look at the list. So I always do feel good for those guys. If they're someone who wasn't expecting to be on there, that's really cool. But yeah, you kind of just gotta look at the list, but not take anything too crazy with these because they change a lot. So if you're not on there, maybe don't worry about it too much. If you're on there, cool, congrats, awesome. But yeah, we'll see. And Drew, you mentioned it, but Cash Cruitt, always remember his name because that's like A+ name. I always remember his name. And
He just got
I
a
don't
new
know if he still has
mask.
the $sign on the mask. Does he still have
He
it?
he just got a new one. He
Oh
has a
god.
Caps one now, but yeah, our head coach hadn't seen him because our goaltending coach Shane Connolly kind of did the scouting on that side before selecting him. Like so, Andy played with Shane Connolly in college, so he's got pretty good trust in him. And at camp, the first year, Cash shows up with a shiny gold and black $sign on the side, and
Yeah, yeah.
I can confirm our coaching staff wasn't too much of a fan of that being on their side, but I think it's awesome at the same time.
It's
Like,
very memorable. You're
I,
not gonna
I
forget it.
wish I
Big
wish he
as
still
it is.
had it. That maybe it's gold with the Caps navy. I don't know, but
Yeah, and I think it said too, like, wanted robbery or
yeah,
something
robbery
on
on
the
the other
side.
side. It
Yeah,
was
I forgot.
sweet. It was
Yeah,
sweet.
those kind of cool goalie masks. I'm always like, well, I'm sure some guys are like, oh, whatever. I don't like it when they're crazy like that, but they do make a memory in your mind. You're not gonna forget those. So I
Even
always
just the
remember that
name
one
Cash
time.
is sweet.
Yeah, I was like, that's a memorable name. So some of these I'm like, yeah, I remember that name. So that's cool. But yeah, so Central Scouting's out. You can go look at it now if you so choose. There were a couple commitments, not really many Minnesotan guys, so I can just run through these because they're not, guys that are Minnesotans. There's one at the end that'll throw in from the null, but the first overall USHL draft pick, Thaddeus McMahon, committed to Quinnipiac. He's playing for Omaha. One of Des Moines' guys committed to UConn. There was a flip. Jason Davenport, who's a D, was a Miami, Ohio commit, now headed to Anchorage. And one of the Chicago's netminders committed to Colgate. So nothing super crazy, just a couple here and there that I saved that I would mention on here. And I don't know, Drew, I know you know all the name pronunciations, but Eero Butella, again, don't know.
Arrow, almost like the
Arrow,
bow and arrow. Yep.
love it.
Arrow Butella.
Does not have the Northeastern logo anymore. So another guy back on the market. I think I saw that from their Northeastern, like one of the team fan pages or something like that. So saw that there. And then one
He's got a great
Minnesota.
shot.
Yeah, I
He
think
he
he's
can shoot
playing
the puck.
pretty good. I think it's for Fargo right now. So
Yeah. He was in Waterloo to start last year and got traded to Fargo halfway through.
we'll see where he ends up. But then one Minnesotan, literally from yesterday, from the Null, Sam Schulte from Mounds View. Shout out Mounds View hockey, love it. Committed to Army West Point yesterday. He's playing in Chippewa for the Steel. So love to see Minnesotans getting their commitments, and he's playing in the Null right now. So love to see it.
Yeah, I got two extra notes on these guys. Nathan Hawad from the Des Moines Bucks. I met Nathan when I believe he was 13, 13 or 14. We were helping run the United States Elite League, which was an off-season league that Little Caesars participated in, and um, they played as Yeti tape, but it was Honey Baked and Mission played and all those guys. And Nathan played for a Windy City team that, as U13s, was considered the best team in the country. So I've always had kind of a soft spot for Nathan. I think he's a really nice kid. He's a super athlete. I mean, he flies around the ice. If he learns to tuck the wings a little bit at certain times, he'll be just fine. But he has every raw tool you could want in the book. And Sam Schulte, Tony actually sent me on a little bit. I hesitate to call it a scouting mission because he was a squirter,
Yeah.
but we were evaluating players for Great Plains for the North American Hockey Showcase. And Tony had me drive out to Forest Lake to watch Mounds View play St. Paul Caps to get a look at a couple of players, and Sam Schulte was one of them. So it makes me feel very, very old to see these kids that I've had the privilege to work with when they were a little bit younger to committing to colleges. Good for them.
Yeah, and kind of cool now with Sam Schulte, and then also Johnny Conlon is also a West Point
Mm-hmm.
commit. So West Point getting those Mounds View guys, it's awesome. Love to see it. But we were kind of gonna add on to the first episode. We talked a little bit about the staying and coming goings of the guys in the USHL or other junior teams, of just who do we think, what have we heard, any updates from last episode. I will just add before some of these other guys that you guys have intel on. When I talked to Caleb Pitsley, we were talking before the show, but I was asking him, if you don't know for sure, you can tell me. But he told me he's leaning towards staying in Madison this year. So it doesn't sound like he's 100%, but to me, that sounds like probably staying in the USHL. So I think that's pretty likely, but I don't know if you guys had any other insight on any of the other guys since the last show. No?
Drew,
Okay.
this is I've been out of the country and with the flu, so I have not been in contact with any of
Yeah.
these kids other than the ones I would ask at the Fall Classic. And at the Fall Classic, it's a lot of wait and see. Like, so much can change depending on what kind of playing time you're getting, how many guys are coming back from injury. Does the coaching staff like you? Are you battling an injury that you might be better served going back to the high school for the state high school league season? So I don't have any real news.
Yeah, I
Nothing
don't
too
think I have
crazy.
any. I don't think I have any like too crazy updates or anything. Uh, Caps have a couple on the team. I think some of them still waiting to make the decision.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
them probably know and just don't tell me, which more power to them. That's not my category. I need to do more Adam Schefter work, though, is what it sounds like. I need to tell them to text all their friends, tell me what their friends are doing. We'll figure it
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Maybe we get some fake rumors out there, but we get some real ones out of it too, and we can only take credit for the real ones and delete the tweets on the fake ones.
Yeah, and the one that I kept seeing on Twitter, and again, sorry if I butcher anybody's name, Marcus Matias, from who was playing for Cretin-Durham Hall last year. It sounds like is returning, according to a couple different Twitter accounts were tweeting it. At first, somebody just said left the WHL and then was going to be playing in the NAL, and now somebody else said likely returning to high school. So that would obviously be big for the Raiders if they get him back this year, because I originally thought he was going to be playing in the dub, so that would be a big one. Otherwise, just some other notes here from some other leagues as well. I know last time we recorded, we took some deep dives into the leaderboards and just other Minnesotans who are doing really well. And there's a lot, but I mean, the one I keep seeing on my Twitter feed all the time, which I'm not mad about, it's awesome, is Carter Casey of Grand Rapids. It seems like is doing just super well for Medicine Hat in the dub. He was the first star of the night like a week ago. I think he was rookie of the week last week, because I think that was last week now, because we had kind of like a gap in between recording these episodes. But seems like he's doing super well, which is awesome. And I think he was fairly high on the central scouting list as well. So love to see it. I know he's active on the social medias, like in the tweets. So love to see him doing well in the dub. And goalies, it's hard to be a good goalie prospect, man. So
It is the hardest to be a good goalie prospect. I think I made this point when I wrote my little Central Scouting recap about Kane and Smith. Like, it's easy to forget about some of these kids because goalies, there's only two of them on the roster. So some of these kids, like Kanan's in the null right now, but people forget that he's considered one of the best goaltenders his age in the country. So just because he's not playing in the Dub or the USHL doesn't mean he's not a great goalie. But it is easy to lose track of some of these goaltenders because they get injured or they're just not at the level they think they should be at or not the level that they initially thought they were going to be at. So Carter Casey doing a big in Medicine Hat. I'd be curious to know the origins of the town name of Medicine Hat. I'm assuming it's
Yeah,
indigenous.
sounds awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so he for Medicine Hat right now is a 925 save percentage, so doing real well. Another Minnesotan goalie I thought I would shout out is Leo Gabriel. Always loved watching him at White Bear. He's doing really well in the Null for Lone Star, one of the South teams. I saw the other night he was one of the first stars of the night the other day. And he has a 946 through 2 games, so not a ton of like games played yet, but doing really good early on. And yeah, I just love to see those goalies because, like we said, being a goalie is tough in juniors because there's limited spots, and a lot of times you get cut and traded and cut again and got to move leagues, and it's brutal sometimes. So cool to see some of those guys doing well. And then another goalie as well that I saw that I didn't know was playing in the Dub was Cal Conway. So we got a couple goalies, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is cool. I mean, the goalies, like you said, it's so crazy. Like the turnover. I know you mentioned Leo Gabriel. He's part of a three goalie tandem right now at Lone Star. Another Minnesotan, Brady Cry. Obviously, he didn't play high school hockey, but he played North Star Elite. He's down there rotating in with Leo Gabriel, and then they have a Canadian goaltender too. The Lone Star system set up to make goalies succeed. I think they've had an MVP down there, Arthur Smith, who plays at Princeton now. Then you look at Ryan Cameron last year, the USA Hockey Junior Goalie of the Year, playing in Lone Star. So now he's in Cedar Rapids. But yeah, I think the Wild Fong system set up to have goalies succeed, and it's clearly working out for Gabriel. Cry early on in the season was with the Caps, an affiliate now for the Caps. So hopefully it works out for him too. We can get some more Caps content soon from Brady Cry.
Yeah, and some other guys in the Dub, same team that Cal Conway is on. Some Minnesotans tearing it up. I've been seeing so many Mason Craft clips lately popping up
Oh
on
my God.
my Twitter
Every
feed. Like
day, man.
so
Every
many.
day.
Yeah, he's actually leading the team in overall points right now by double anyone else. He has 12 points in 9 games, and the next closest skater has 6. So tearing it up, absolutely
Is the
tearing it
Dub
up.
as offensive as the OHL and the Q? I didn't like. I know the O and the Q
Ooh.
usually are offensive. I know McKenna's putting up like 2,000 points in the Dub, but like I actually don't know how the Dub compares typically because I feel like I hear way more about the OHL teams for some reason.
Yeah.
If I had, I think the Dub is out of the big three in the CHL. The Dub is the most defensive, but not
Okay,
by much.
okay, that makes sense.
Not by much.
Yeah, so Kraft's tearing it up in Wenatchee, and Josh Toll actually has 6 points through 8 games, so he's been doing really well too, which is crazy. I keep seeing him like when they list the 3 stars of the night. I saw him recently on one of them, so love to see that. And then there's a lot of other Minnesotans on this roster as well, like Blake Vanek's on there, Aiden Grosshaus is on there, so they got quite a few Minnesotan guys, which is super cool to see. So maybe Wenatchee's like the team now. I don't know for the Minnesota
Well,
guys, but
I think when Wenatchee, I think, simply did its homework on the Minnesota guys. Like I believe they also took Owen Kraft in the Bantam draft this year, and that's just smart business. Like if you're hedging,
yeah,
and this hedging was far more of a trend when kids had to make a decision between Canadian juniors and NCAA hockey. Now you can, do both. But if you're hedging against trying to get a kid to move out halfway across the country, then having his brother there, that's a huge caveat for these families. So I think Wenatchee's, I don't want to say smarter than the rest of the Dub because there are a lot of Minnesota kids that got scooped up in that Bantam draft. But Wenatchee's done its homework. They know who they want, and they're willing to take secondary measures to ensure that who they have are content.
Well, and I think the Kraft move also helps recruit his brother out of Cedar Rapids too. Like it works twofold. It works to get Mason out there. It works to get the brother out there eventually. Like who knows? It's crazy to just see like Minnesota kids playing in the dub as consistently as they are with college logos.
Mhm.
It's been nuts. But yeah, just like you said, that like recruiting process, you're starting to see it more and more.
Yeah, so those are the guys kind of tearing it up right now in the dub. Some null news as well. Some guys I thought I would shout out. Parker Deshane from Rogers has 12 points through 13 games for Danbury of the null. So I think that's like second in total scoring, so he's been tearing it up. And then I don't know, all of a sudden when the Philadelphia Rebels decided to get like half their team as Minnesotans, because I was just looking at kind of overall rosters the other day, and Johnny Conlon leads the team in scoring with 14 points in 10 games, but that makes sense because he's got USHL experience and he's a D1 committed guy. We already mentioned his name on the show today. But they
Mhm.
have so many other Minnesotans, like Alex Lunsky's there, Jordan Brothers is there, Joe Stauber, Kate Kozak, Bellison. Like I was just looking, I'm like, that's one, that like just going down the list. So I don't know when Philadelphia Rebels just like started to get all the Minnesotans, but they have done so.
There's a
So
tie between our staff kind of and their staff. Our director of scouting is their director of scouting too,
okay.
Justin Friedman. Jordan Brothers tore it up at Capitals main camp. Alex Lunsky played for the Capitals last season, was in training camp, battled through. He actually had a pretty good preseason after battling injury in the second half last year. So there's ties everywhere in junior hockey, but I would take a wild guess the trip to Madison to participate in main camps a little easier than going to Philadelphia for some of those kids, and kind of shows that you can get scouted anywhere at any time by any team, which is crazy to think about that. You show up to Middleton, Wisconsin for a main camp trying to make a USHL team, but you make an impact and get traded to a NAHL team in brother's case, or drafted to a team in Lunsky's case. And yeah, no, that's the connection there for some of the Minnesota kids I can confirm.
Well, that's
Okay.
a
Well,
big
that would
one
make
because
more sense.
Justin also runs North Star Elite during the off season, and he has recruited Minnesota kids to play for every North Star Elite team from every age group. So he's well versed in Minnesota talent, and nobody works the exploratory email better than Justin. He always manages to put together some nice North Star Elite teams. So Justin he's the perfect person to be a director of player personnel. Nobody loves doing homework on players more than Justin.
Yeah, so Philadelphia Rebels, I guess, are one of the top Minnesotan teams now somehow. Love to see it. Another team that I thought just had some interesting stats. Will Estabrooks was leading the Norsemen in scoring like last week, and now it says he's 1 point behind the team lead from last time I typed that. But he's up there. He's got 12 points in 11 games for the St. Cloud Norsemen. And I remember, I think I told Tony that the other day, and Tony's like, he's a D. And I'm like, yeah, but he's still like scoring a ton of points. So love to see that. There's a couple other Minnesotans on that team as well, like Wyatt Farrell's on there and some other guys too, which is cool. And rarely they have all three goalies from Minnesota, which is kind of crazy. Beck Leiden, who I talked to, he didn't play high school, but he played at North Star. He's from Alexandria. And then Zach Price, who played at Maple Grove, and Isaac Callis, who is Little Falls. So kind of rare to see all three Minnesota goalies. I guess we're just like turning into the state of goalies lately, which I feel like is rare because normally I feel like we aren't recognized for having that many goalies, but lately we've got quite a few in juniors right now. So maybe the times are changing. I don't know, but quite a few
Well,
solid guys.
we should be recognized for goalies because you could argue that Jake Ottinger is the best NHL representative of the state of Minnesota. So
Yeah.
maybe we should be thought of as our goaltenders.
Yeah, I know a lot of people usually don't think of goalies at the top of the list for Minnesota, but we've got quite a few good ones now in juniors, so that's awesome. And then one thing I wanted to throw in that I kept seeing these tweets from the Clanko Media account, who always has these like null insights, and just recently,
That
like
dude never has good news. He
I
never
know,
has
and
good
just the
news.
other day they were posting, I don't know what's going on in Elmira for the null, but they had a tweet that they fired their like people. So Drew, I don't know if you have any comments on this or what is going on.
I didn't realize Elmira had an NAHL team, if I'm being
They're new.
honest with
They're
you.
new.
I had no
Where
idea.
where is Elmira? Couldn't tell you.
I think they're in year 2 or 3, so they're pretty new.
Because I feel like the Null NA3, they're always adding these teams. They have infinite number of teams in the leagues now. Uh, I saw Elmira, and you couldn't have told me where to put it on a map, what league they played
I
in,
did
but
have to
good.
Google it when they
But
announced
yeah,
it.
I did see that they like fired coaches, and then they said they hired a coach, but then they said they didn't hire a coach. So I don't know the news coming out of Elmira, nor do I
Yeah.
know where Elmira is, but God bless Elmira.
God bless Elmira.
That's got to be like the title of the show today. I think that's a great quote. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there either. I mean, their team name for the record is the Aviators, so that's their null team name. But they're fairly new. They're one of the newer teams in the league, so not super crazy if you don't know them yet. Especially if you're a Minnesotan and you're like, I don't know where that is. It's in New York.
Is Elmira a song? Elmira, is that? I feel like that's a song. Might be. Maybe I'm the only one that listens to country western music here.
You're gonna get clips now. Joey Means is gonna clip you, and he's gonna clip that.
Perfect.
We're gonna have a
And
lot
if
of.
it's not, that'll be great.
Bless Drew Steele.
But I just
God
wanted to
bless
mention that
Drew.
because apparently it says they fired their GM, their head coach, and an unnamed assistant coach. So I don't know what the heck is going on there.
Clean
Hopefully
slate.
nothing too bad, because I know sometimes some null franchises it gets a little crazy and things happen and it's all crazy. So if you're switching coaches already, it's only October like 19th when he tweeted that. That's probably not a great sign. So hopefully those players have, you know, some good people coming in to help them out because that's rough if you're firing a lot of people already this early in the season.
Omaha sounds like Omaha.
Oh gosh.
Am I wrong?
Calling them out.
They were through 4 coaches by this time last year, I swear.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I was thinking more about the JJ Watts comments about how if you're having a players only meeting at this point of the season, you might as well just call it a day. How many coaching changes can you go through before Halloween before you just curtains?
Yeah. I think there should be relegation in the NA and the NA3. That would solve some of that.
That would be wild. That would be awesome, actually. That'd be crazy.
They have the amount of teams to do it.
Relegation across all professional sports, but that's just me.
Could you
That'd be
imagine
cool.
like D1 and D3 hockey if you get relegated?
Oh my gosh,
that'd be kind of awesome though. Entertaining. Hey, we got great ideas on this pod, you guys. We really did.
Relegation.
Although we charge for them. We charge for them.
We got great ideas on this pod. And speaking of great ideas, we have a lot of just like random funny stuff that we always like to save for the end. You know, whether it's unhinged fans online, specifically Facebook, random videos we've seen of just crazy things. We like to just look at all of them because we like to keep it light on the show. There's a lot of unhinged, crazy stuff that happens in a lot of these Facebook groups, fan messages, all that stuff. So, Drew, I don't know if you clip some of them or have anything interesting. I know we saw some of them before the show, but they're entertaining. They're good.
Oh yeah, we got a couple of them for the people today. First off, we'll start Sioux City going back to the Kelly Green. I think they're clean jerseys. I kind of like the Kelly Green over that darker color. Kind of reminds me of Pine City's Mini Mite jerseys, but that's besides the point. When you order Oregon Ducks jersey off Wish, I didn't think Oregon Ducks until you can kind of see the O in the Sioux City logo. So that's kind of the first one there. We got a whole bunch of Facebook comments today though. So that one I think is probably the tamest of the group.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. The Youngstown fan making fun of Lamer's bus lines. Tough break for Lamers, thinking that they're the Lancers. They might not be able to spell. Tommy's having a tough day trying to spell Lancers, but it does I can kind of see it there.
Oh yeah, I feel like that would have done numbers on Facebook for sure. I can't see the like count from the picture, but I feel like that definitely would have done some numbers online.
It wouldn't do numbers anywhere else but Facebook.
Oh yeah.
That is Facebook gold.
And then we have Kozlowski Mark. This one Sid sent over.
Oh
For
yeah.
some reason, being outshot 87-45 in a 2-game series does not equate to a new energy, new era to me. And one would have to be complimentary of goaltending, or score would have been much worse. So I don't quite know exactly. I would take a wild guess that the new energy, new era would probably be referring to Omaha changing logos and a lot of their staff over the past couple of seasons. But I guess I'm gonna do some research. You guys chit chat about this.
Yeah, love that. That was from a couple days ago or last week at some point. So, I saw that and was like, wow, that's got some good energy. I need to bring on the pod. That's definitely got some sass to it, that message. And, we like to read those unhinged Facebook comments, but I really like the vibe that's going on in that post there. And like we said last week, that I know Joey Memes clipped it and posted it on the Twitter of me saying I'm lurking in the Facebook groups. I'm lurking. This is one of them that I'm in, and I screenshot it. So I don't see all of them, but I see some of them, and I thought that one was funny. It made me chuckle. So
This is a classic goalie parent opinion there. Having to
Yeah.
throw the goalies in at the end. Also, being outshot 87-45. It's a 2-game series, dog. Like, I don't think 2 games is enough to get that upset about to post on the internet, but that's just me.
yeah,
I
I didn't have
haven't I
any other
haven't figured out
context
who it
for it.
is.
Yeah, I
Still
didn't
haven't
have
figured
any
out
other
who it is.
context for it. I just saw it and screenshotted it and was like, "Wow, I should bring that up." But the other one I thought that was really interesting that did some numbers on Twitter, and I don't know if it made its way to the other social media platforms. Was we were watching this beforehand, and I don't know if we need to play it or not, but
Oh yeah.
the fight between Berard and Maceo Phillips, absolutely insane. If you haven't seen it, we're playing it now, but if you're just listening, it's basically a fight between a guy who is much shorter than Maceo Phillips, who we know as a Minnesotan, he's a big dude. And this other guy punches him basically like 1.5 times and takes him down and is just amped up after that. So that was just going crazy. I saw it was doing some numbers on Twitter and just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Brody Berard's height and weight. They gave him 5'11", 196. So he's not like he's tiny, but yeah, I don't know if you're Maceo Phillips or if you're Calgary, how much you like the Brody Berard 2009 born rocking Maceo Phillips there, but Phillips sits down at the end of the clip there, so I think that's kind of funny before he gets shown the gate.
I think it might be time for boxing lessons. If fighting is gonna be a part of your game, you might as well learn how to do it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, Berard looked just amped after that fight too. I don't know if he was just like ready. Like, I don't know what was going on before this game. Maybe they were going at it like before this, and he was just like, you know what, I'm ready for this moment, and he was just ready to go. But
Yeah, it takes guts to fight a guy Maceo's size. I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie.
he's a big dude.
Maceo had himself a preseason too, where he wasn't afraid to chuck him in the preseason. So I was kind of wondering how many people would like have the guts to kind of go after Maceo
Yeah.
this season, and to be a 16-year-old. And yeah, that's the way to make your statement. Shout out Matt Lipstick, the broadcaster for Youngstown. He shot me a text. Did you see Berard's fight? Naturally, I just looked down at my phone and I thought it said Bedard's fight. So I was like,
Oh
well,
wow.
first off, I'm like, why is Matt sending me this? I was like, okay, he fought, and he goes, yeah, he fought Maceo Phillips tonight or whatever. And I was like, huh, like even more confused. But then he sent that clip that I just played there. So, yeah, wild 16-year-old. I'd be amped up too. You just beat the crap out of a 19-year-old who's been in the league for a couple seasons. Got to feel good. I think his team won that night too. I don't know if it was a momentum turner or anything, but I'll get on that while. Yeah, let's see. I
I mean,
mean, they
he, like,
were.
turns around and is like, yeah, yeah. So he just seems like he amped everybody up after that. I don't know what the rest of the bench was doing because you can't really see from that angle, but I feel like all the guys probably had to have been just like,
Oh, they're hooting and hollering for him, and he has every right to celebrate, man. That was a perfect right cross, and he caught him with his arms down. I wonder when the next time the 2 teams play. We'll see
Yeah,
if there's any
that might be one to
retribution.
circle because that might be like Maceo going like, okay, got to make a statement back now. So
They
that
did play
might
the
be one to
next
watch.
day. They did
They
play the
did?
next day. Yeah, they
Okay.
played the 19th, so they played Sunday. Doesn't look like anybody got into fights that day. Green Bay did kind of step on Youngstown in that one, but Youngstown outscored Green Bay 3-1 after that fight that day. So like
Jeez.
it's a
Wow.
momentum turner. I don't know if there was like a big hit there that deserved a fight to be started, in my opinion, from the beginning of
Right.
it. But
Yeah.
once the gloves are off, I guess it's all hands at that point.
And if I'm Brody Berard and I get challenged by, if Maceo challenges him again, I'm saying, no way, dude. I'm
I'm
going to let
good.
that clip live forever. I am not giving you a second chance at me.
Bait him into taking the gloves off like Shake. I know people think that's bush league, but I always think that's kind of funny when another guy gets a guy to take the gloves off and he has to go sit for two.
He's just standing there with cold hands, dude.
Yeah, grab some hand warmers. There's mittens in the box for you. Go ahead, sit down. I got one more video for us today too, though.
Bombs away.
We talked about the main squad last weekend or last pod. I say last weekend, it was last pod. Rylan Oster, Sid probably has updates on that coming up. Shout out Rylan Oster. I feel like it's not a junior hockey pod unless we say Rylan Oster's name.
We just got to shout him out now.
Yeah, we'll shout him out. We do have one where Maine was playing. Scratch was enjoying dinner. Oh wait, sorry. Technology. We're still figuring it out. I mean, that's the first like fumble. We'll be okay with that. All right, here we go. Scratch is just munching fries on the broadcast. Tough way to get caught. Not playing tonight. Healthy Scratch. We're digging deep into
Love
the
to see
fries.
it.
Now I'm not gonna lie. If those are Mac fries, if this is St. Cloud Norseman, I'm all about it. Like that kid's got
Stop
good
it.
taste.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop
What are we
it.
talking
No,
about?
those fries aren't that good.
How many rinks
They're not that good.
across the state of Minnesota have the deep fryer where they're making the fries right as you go? Not that many. Mac
See, I
fries
don't,
hit.
but I've had Mac fries before, and I don't understand Tony's obsession with them. I don't understand the need to get French fries at a hockey game either. I'm a hot dog guy. If I'm getting
I'm
French
gonna
fries,
say
I'm going to
I'm usually not a
McDonald's.
French fry at the game person.
But
You know?
to be fair, I'm not ordering French fries at a game because they usually are like, oh yeah, we just baked them and they've been sitting there for like 4 hours. I'm talking French fries that are deep fried, made to order. You go broadcast T-Goals game or did they actually ever come up with an official name? Tech and Apollo merged when I was in college.
Crush. The Crush.
The
Yeah.
Crush.
For boys, it's Crush?
Yeah, the girls are also Crush now.
I knew the girls were Crush. I didn't realize the boys
The
had
boys are
gone with
Crush, yes. They're all
Me neither. I'm
all
learning
Crush.
something new. But
As your resident
broadcast
St. Cloud expert.
Yeah, there we go. Radio X broadcasting some T-Eagles hockey back in the day when they refused to be called either of them. So they were just St. Cloud. It was almost, I big fan of the Mac fries. Sit down, intermission, you got some fries there. Maybe that's just a privilege where I've always had a table at the Mac, whether it's broadcasting like high school hockey or I've done the PA for the Norsemen for a season too. So like having the table there, throw the fries on. Maybe it's that I have an extra couple pounds on me and I just like French fries. But like I'm okay with either. The Mac fries are gas.
Yeah, I don't know
Mac
if I have
fries
a
are gas.
go-to
Okay.
concession at the Mac. I guess I don't. I don't know.
They have chicken fingers. Blake Tyson, voice of the Watertown Shamrocks. Big fan of those, if I'm not mistaken. But I never got into the chicken tendies there, but big fan of the fries. That's one thing you're going to take away from the pod today.
It's the classic Herbrooks National Hockey Center, the men's Parm bites. Those are my go-to. So I know it's not a high
Parm
school
bites.
thing, though, but
Parm bites.
Y'all
yeah,
are so
well, they have like
fancy with your
Domino's there,
concession
so I
food,
guess
man.
that's different. But I don't know. What is the classic mall concession around you? Let us know because we should find out who has the best concession.
Food tour YHH. Let's get on it, Tony. me all
If
over the place.
somebody not named Peter wants to pay for it, then Peter will attend. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I can foot the bill for a USHL food tour.
Yeah.
Well, like
Well, I don't know about all
if you
the
can get
USHL.
gas, I know a place where you can get in for free of charge, and
Ooh,
maybe there'd be a live pod
Hey,
coming
I
out from
remember
after
going
that
to
too.
I got one
Madison
of these guys.
for the
I,
Clark Cup finals a few years ago when they played Sioux City, and they had poutine.
really, we don't have
Yep.
that anymore.
But that was like when they played Sioux City, like a long, like that Clark Cup
Yeah, that
final,
was
like
22. Yeah,
yeah.
Eastern
I remember
Conference
before one of the
champions.
games I got some, and I was like, "That's interesting. I'm gonna get that."
One of the most embarrassing things I've ever had to type. I write our PA script prior to every game of the 2022-23 season. We were welcome to the ice, your Eastern Conference champion Madison Capitals, and we were the worst team in the league that season. So,
Nice.
yeah, we had 7 wins at one point in March, and the Eastern Conference champions really hits when you're skating out on the ice to get beat 8-1 on a night. But hopefully, hey, I'd love if they made the Clark Cup final again this year. I'd be okay with that. But yeah, I mean, food tour, that green pass gets you in anywhere, Peter. I mean, you might as well, not too far, not too far down the
I
road.
have a stack of these that I'm supposed to hand out to
Oh, and I
various
remember that
media
same Clark Cup
members.
final when I was in Sioux City, a guy gave me free mini donuts. Shout
Huge.
out mini
Oh,
donuts guy. That was huge. As you
I'm
like to
trying
say,
to
Drew, that was huge. Huge.
Yeah, huge, huge. I'm trying to currently when I go on the road, I only go on like day trips on the road. So like I've been to Waterloo, Cedar Rapids this season. I'll be in Dubuque this weekend. I try to rank all the brats. So far,
ooh.
Waterloo has great brats. I got some free mini donuts. Uh, my wife's family has some people down in Waterloo that have season tickets to the Blackhawks. She dropped off some mini donuts, pretty good down in Waterloo too. Not gonna lie, but the
Nice.
brat in Waterloo, top of the board, CR right below it. I've only been to 2 spots this year though, so we'll update those rankings weekly. Next week we'll have Dubuque in there too, but
Yeah.
maybe it was just that I was hungry that day, and maybe this has turned into a food pod. But
Yeah. Well,
It
yeah,
I
could be a food
definitely
Waterloo,
pile. That's fine with me.
yeah, I don't have
absolutely
opinions
fine.
on a lot of the USHL food, but I'm sure there's some null ranks out there that probably have some wild concessions. So if anyone has any like really good or just like horrible
Really
food
bad is kind of.
reviews, like
If I don't
please
have to
let us
try it,
know.
I want really bad. If I have to try it, I
Yeah.
want really good. So we want both ends of the spectrum. Just take pictures. If there's like refried beans or anything, like it looks like it at least, send it to us and we'll
I'm
put the
sure
picture
some of
up.
them have
But
like some interesting food. You got null teams all over now. Like
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and
there's
there's
gotta
some
be
barns in that
something
league too. Like
interesting.
El Paso's barn is crazy. Like I would guess they have some wild food there. It's like eh, I'm trying to it's like one of the smelly uh animal barns at the state fair, but they put an ice rink in the middle of it. And then the NHL craft NHL of Hockeyville or whatever went there and like they like revamped it, but they have like the dashers are like this, they're the kick plates are like this thick, but there's only this much showing because they just built up the ice so high. Like El Paso is the first place that came to my mind when you said they got some places all over the place. That's a long road
Or
trip
maybe
for
we
every
gotta
team.
text our connections, Drew, of guys in the Null that we know that work in the Null and be like, what's like the craziest food in
Yeah.
your place? Or is it just like average,
I mean, it
general?
depends on the building though, right? Like Corpus plays in a building. When I was in Corpus, Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen played in the building that same year. So like
Oh
Corpus
wow.
has like a huge building. So like they had Chick-fil-A in the building. I'm like, this is great. I'd go have a sandwich before the game, but yeah, crazy.
Well,
What?
I don't really have anything else to add after that food tangent, but you know, we keep it light here on the junior hockey pod. Again, any name suggestions, let us know. We're just the junior hockey pod right now. But again, we'd like to thank the sponsors, the USHL and APX Hockey as well. And if you've got any other crazy unhinged fan stories, any news tidbits, any hot gossip you want to drop, let us know. Otherwise, thanks so much for listening to episode 2, and hopefully we were entertaining enough for you all. Once again, I'm Sydney Wolf, joined by Drew Steele and Peter Odney, and we will see you again in a week or so.